I am Lee Lapthorne, the founder and director of On/Off, a platform that supports emerging creative talent. I've been having conversations with Leslie and Sean from the Digital Fashion Group since 2020, when I secured Ravensbourne University at the forefront of digital fashion education. We have collaborated since on a number of projects, and we've been debating the future of digital fashion within industry and education. Richard Hobbs of B&V, Leslie Holden of the Digital Fashion Group and I met in London and discussed my plans for supporting designers in February. I proposed that we continue the metaverse debate with a live audience with industry leaders and fashion press during London Fashion Week. The idea was to invite guests to experience a live studio setup where we would beam real live models into the metaverse alongside their digital twin, creating opportunities to question the future of showcasing and the physicality of designer fashion pieces. It was important that we found designers that were competent in both the physical and digital worlds. We worked with the Digital Fashion Group to invite quality designers who had an interesting aesthetic and narrative within both worlds. On/Off is known internationally for supporting emerging talents, creating innovative ways of showcasing and championing a collaborative practice. On the 17th of February 2023, we will bring the metaverse to life and showcase both physical and digital outfits in real time. This will be a first for London Fashion Week as On/Off continues to push boundaries. We posed a series of questions to Leslie Holden of the Digital Fashion Group ahead of our On/Off showcase during London Fashion Week.
Well, I've known Lee for a long time, and we also worked with him on the last show in September. He wanted to do something digital. He spoke to us about it. We connected with someone who had done a course with us and who is a German designer, Taskin Guk. And we put him forward, and then we worked with Lee on what that show should look like and how important it was to be phygital, so digital and physical together as Taskin designs. Taskin is a traditionally trained fashion designer who moved into digital and uses digital as an inspirational starting point for his physical designs. So rather than being a designer who's just totally in digital, going from a digital ideation all the way through to an asset, he uses both of them combined. And we at the Digital Fashion Group, we think that is the right way to do it, or the best, a way to do it, which is more related to the fashion industry. Okay, so we started the Digital Fashion Group with a belief, and this was before the metaverse and Web3 and all that stuff came about. Well, before it was hyped so much, we believed that the digitalization of the fashion industry was a very important direction to ensure a more sustainable fashion industry. Mm-hmm. So what digital with physical, what's important there is that you can make a digital twin of your physical garment. You can have like two wardrobes, one that you can wear physically, one that you can wear on your social media. Mm-hmm. Also, the digital twins or the NFTs or the augmented reality dressing, whatever area it is also very good to, in a way, quench the thirst of wanting to buy and more garments, so that people can actually start dressing themselves more in their social media using augmented reality rather than maybe purchasing a garment online and wearing it a couple of times to take photographs of themselves and then sending it back, which is a hugely unsustainable act. I think that, you know, we've been looking at these traditional fashion shows for ever such a long time. And when we move it into a digital sphere, then not only does it kind of create another creative aspect of how you can approach a show, rather than just a runway with models walking up and down, you can use the technology to enhance the presentation. But also the most important part of it is that it, in a way, democratizes the fashion shows or fashion weeks, so that you can immediately show what's happening digitally as well globally. You take fashion into another realm, and the garments can fit much more in a kind of on-demand structure of fashion production. So that's kind of another aspect that's a very important aspect, that you can, without actually manufacturing huge amounts of garments and then pushing them into the market to sell them and hopefully sell them all, which never happens because like, you know, 60% of garments are, you know, are wasted. You can sell your garments up front using your digital assets and ensure your orders, and then put your orders into the manufacturers. So you're actually manufacturing exactly the amount of garments which have been sold. So it's still important to feel visible. I mean, we wear clothes are worn, we have to experience them on our body. So it's, you know, we're really in early days with digital fashion still. So it's about how we use the tools the best we can. And at the end of the day, it's about clothing on the body. So people still want to kind of feel in touch and have that piece of theatre as well coming with it. So in a way, it's about the three dimensions of fashion, along with a new way of reaching other kinds of audiences and taking it into other kind of markets. Yeah, it's, yeah, clothes are clothes that you wear at the end of the day. I see it progressing primarily in that the fashion industry can use digital much more, not just as something to do with NFTs or something to do with gaming, but also that it's used not just to develop the design, but also used all the way through the manufacturing and used through the selling. So you can effectively, a designer can design the garments, create assets, digital assets. These at the very beginning, these digital assets can then go through the whole supply chain in different ways. You cut down greatly on samples. You cut down greatly on the waste of garments which are never going to be worn and go immediately to landfill. And then these digital assets can also be used at the e-commerce end, selling, etc., etc. So it's about making the industry a lot more sustainable.